he gets up, and everybody sort of let him walk off first for no reason. He just did. And he gets to the front of the plane, and he turns around and he says, because we had to go back on tour in 10 days. He turns around and he says, "Enjoy your time without me." And everybody belly laughed, because we were all kind of like, we don't want to see each other anymore for a little while.
Here we are inside your Uncle Joe's garage, supported by Mike Thompson RV. Special guest today, Timothy B. Schmit of the Eagles and Poco, and a great new solo album, Leap of Faith. We're going to talk about that, but first, you're in the garage, and it's traditional. What was the first car that you drove? Have you any memories of the first vehicle that you're trying to forget for the rest of your life?
First car that I actually drove?
Yeah.
It was either my mother's or my father's. It was actually kind of cool.
Oh.
It was a Chevrolet Corvair.
Oh.
About a 63.
63.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that would flip over if you went fast enough through the corner.
They were horrible cars, but they were cool, and I was one of the only families I knew that had one.
How would you get a guitar, be it bass or regular, and an amplifier inside a Corvair? Was there actually room for it?
I probably switched to my father's station wagon.
There you go.
We were Chevy folks. Chevy station wagon.
Love it. The new album, Leap of Faith, you've spent 7 years recording this. It seems like this part-time job with the bar band called the Eagles has taken up a bit of your life in the last...
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it was 7 years if you put it all next to each other,
Yeah.
but I had a lot of breaks because I had to record this in between tour legs, really, for a bunch of years.
Now, you have recorded with a lot of different people. You do backing vocals. We just had Steve Porcaro and Steve Lukather were in here in the last few weeks, and you were on the fourth Toto album. Africa was the song. Was it specifically written for you, or did you come in and...
It was not specifically written for me, I'm sure. They asked me to, actually, Henley was doing, on his first album, he was doing a video for one of his songs on his first album, and he asked me to be in the video, and Jeff Porcaro was in the video as well.
Okay.
And then, there's a lot of waiting around when you do those things, more that than shooting. And Jeff, I was getting on to dawn. We were still recording. We were still waiting and doing shots. And he said, "What are you doing this summer?" And I said, what do you got in mind?" And he says, "Well, we're looking for a singer." And I actually went out on the road as a singer for Toto for a short while. It was in 1982. But previous to that, I did record on that Toto album. Yeah.
You're a cancer survivor, and we were very surprised when Glenn passed away. Had you had any inkling that he was not in good health near the end?
Yeah, we did. We knew he was sick, and he was getting sicker, and when all communication stopped for the last couple of weeks, I feared the worst, and the worst happened. I can still hardly believe it.
Yeah. I had just done a thing with him in the studio for the solo album. Around that time, we had a great time. The new album, Timothy, you already know this, your new album is called Leap of Faith. You dedicated it to Roach. I love the artwork in the album. I assume Roach is the guy who did posters and whatnot, the art
No.
guy? Oh?
No. There were nicknames flying all around the band, probably like most groups. And one of Glenn's nicknames was Roach.
Really?
And they called me Woodstock because I was still in moccasins and beads and patchy pants and stuff.
What did you call Walsh then?
Oh, which day? But I should tell you that he gave me when I first joined the band, I think even before it was announced that I was going to join the band, he gave me a gift of a big Ernie Ball earthwood bass. It's way bigger than the regular guitar. It's a bass, and it's a proper bass, like guitarron style, big. And in the middle, in the sound hole, on the bottom inside, was a little almost Post-it note that said, "Happy belated birthday, Woodstock," from Roach, and it's dated. And even though it came out, I still have that bass. I use it on this record, on a song. But it finally fell out. The glue came out, and I saved it all these years. And it's actually in a real proper framing place as we speak, because it means so much to me now.
Oh, it is so cool.
So yeah, Roach is his nickname, was one of his nicknames.
I love it. What was your favorite memory of Glenn? Of playing with him or off the stage?
Wow. The one that's popping into my head happened probably within the last couple of years. We were doing a lot of touring for the History of tour.
Yeah.
And we had a long flight back from the East Coast, and where we got into LA about, I don't know, 2 or 3 in the morning. So it was like 5 in the morning on our body clocks. And we had the good fortune of flying privately, but still it's a long flight, especially after you've done a bunch of shows. And he gets up, and everybody sort of let him walk off first for no reason. He just did. And he gets to the front of the plane, and he turns around and he says, because we had to go back on tour in 10 days. He turns around and he says, "Enjoy yourself without me." No, I'm sorry. He said, "Enjoy your time without me." And everybody belly laughed, because we were all kind of like, we don't want to see each other anymore for a little while.
Dig that. Was there a favorite vocal performance of his that either you were part of or you just enjoyed on stage?
Oh gosh, he was a great singer. He had his own thing. I'm trying to think.
Far more R&B than.
Yeah, but I sort of liked it. I was sort of partial to his earlier country rock voice.
Mm-hmm.
New Kid in Town, beautiful.
Beautiful. And more true today than it was back then. Leap of Faith is a new album. One of my favorite songs on it is I Refuse. The lyrics are killer. And the song starts out like, were you live in the studio recording that? It sounded very live.
Well, that's good. We tricked you.
Well, you had Ben Montench, who's
Yep.
a squirrely little keyboard player himself that we've known for a very long time.
Great player.
And Taylor Hawkins.
Yeah.
You actually got him dialed down a bit?
Yeah, he's a pretty wired fellow.
Foo Fighters are not really known for.
Well, this was a rock song, and I knew he lived close by, and we had been in contact with each other, and I just, I basically texted him and said, I'm doing a song I want you to play on, and he just came right over pretty much,
yeah.
And he didn't need to bring his drums. He said, "I'll play any drums." I have a really great set of drums there anyway, and he just, adjusted them a little bit, and we counted it off.
Is that cool?
Yeah, it was great.
And the last question, if you could perform with anybody, sing with anybody, or play with anybody that you haven't so far, who would that be? Of course, it has to be alive or dead or anything like that. Just who in the universe? You've played with some incredible people.
Oh, I would love to sing with Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
Al Green. I mean, it's never going to happen probably, but if I really had time to think about this, I'm sure I could come up with a lot of folks. Those are a couple there.
Speaking of Motown, is James Jamerson influenced you on the bass playing?
Well, he's one of the greats. I always marveled at the bass parts in those songs, but when I first picked up, when my friends and I in Sacramento first picked up electric guitars, we were like playing surf music.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we were listening to all the time, Motown, and
Yep.
R&B was all over the radio. So that definitely influenced me. I just didn't get that until a bit later.
Mm-hmm.
But like when our high school band learned Money, the song Money, the best things in life are free, you know, we listened to Barrett Strong, you know, we listened to the real thing, you know. So
was it Barrett Strong at first, or the Beatles covering Barrett Strong at first that you heard?
I think I heard the original first, I think.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Great album, Leap of Faith. Timothy B. Schmit. I know that you, yes you, haven't been in the Uncle Joe's Garage yet, but I got some good news. We have created a mobile version of the Uncle Joe's Garage, thanks to our friends at Mike Thompson RV Superstores. Like they say, don't miss a moment, and don't miss the mobile Uncle Joe's Garage coming to a location near you.